Good evening. It is another edition of In This Very Ring, but tonight we are live right here on A2D Radio. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. My name is Ritz. Joining me as he does each and every Monday night, whether we're live or pre-recorded, it's the mayor of Toasty Town. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Butters.
Hi.
Damn it. Infuriating. Either way, we're here. We're live. This is all because last Tuesday night I did lazy booking. Pete and I both had an opportunity to do lazy booking with Chrome, Mataraki, Chrome's friend Neeson. And in the comments, we had talked about taking something that our main topic tonight, and we were going to expand on it on Monday. And somebody in the comments said, can that show be live? And we here at HD Radio, we're for the people. The people want it. The people got it. We're live.
Here's a shocker for you.
What, that they wanted us live?
No, that you went live. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, that I listened to the people?
Yeah.
Yeah, first time for everything. I figured I'd be nice today. Hey, man, I'm a different man post-Alaska. I'm a different man.
Bet you were cold as hell up there.
No, it didn't get any warmer than like 50 degrees, but it also didn't get any like colder than 30, and that was mostly at night.
Okay.
Right? So I was comfy as all hell all day long. And they had the boat really warm. So it was just kind of one of those things to where, like,
well,
I promise you I was fine.
I'm surprised, you're usually one, to, you get cold a little bit easy.
No, I get hot too easily.
Is that English?
No, it's
English,
not.
yes.
I literally just started following a dude on TikTok. He has a local mechanic shop, and he has a program where I feel like he has white women in polygamy. It's called Tap In Auto. Have you ever heard of it?
What is happening right now?
I'm just saying. Just
okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, the OGP of A2D, it's Mr. Pete Evans.
What's up, baby? I did a run-in, like Cody did tonight. I don't know where we at.
Everybody did tonight because
everybody and their mama,
honestly, man. But it makes sense because of Liv getting hurt, right? Yeah. It made total sense.
So, did anybody immediately look up what a dislocated shoulder and how long? Because I think that's going to screw Evolution, possibly. Maybe.
No, I did not look. Is it that bad?
One moment. I am the stat guy.
Tonight you are. But we'll get into Liv's injury throughout the night. But I really want to, like I said, this was a continuation of Tuesday night. We were talking about the R-Truth John Cena program, R-Truth making his return at Money in the Bank, how we felt about it, and where it's going. And now, since that has happened, we now know that we're going to get R-Truth John Cena on Friday. And we're getting John Cena CM Punk at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia next month.
That's 2 weeks. That's next Saturday.
Oh, is it 2 weeks? It's Saturday night's main event that is next month.
They're doing a lot, so it's a little harder to keep track.
They got a lot going on. It's going to be interesting, let's put it that way. But
for a summer that's usually dull,
yeah, like we were sitting here like we're gonna go once a month. It's gonna be a dull summer, and they're like ping, 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 ping.
But it's to that point, right? It's usually kind of quiet. It's loud right now for so many different reasons. Some good, some bad. So we'll get into that as we go on the show. A live episode of this In This Very Ring tonight.
Yeah, very special live episode. Chat wanted it. The chat got it. I'm a man of the people, like I said. So, but I wanted to take this opportunity because I had an idea of where this storyline was going,
Okay.
how it has implications for John Cena's title run, at John Cena, different things like that. But before I kind of jump on my soapbox, which I'm notorious for doing, Butters, I want to get your reaction because like I said, we're not on week to week. Take me back to Money in the Bank. I know you didn't get a chance to watch it fully live. I know you were working, different things like that. But take me back to Money in the Bank. R-Truth makes his return, and then the subsequent, Ron Killings makes his return, and then the subsequent promos. And yes, this is live. We are live. Hi, how you doing?
You would be commenting if we were live, buddy. Oh
no,
yeah.
he still would. You still have comments if we're recorded.
Yes.
Pete and I actually go back and follow up with them. You should try it sometime.
No. I'm talking about as we're recording at night, Goober.
Oh, I get his point, but yeah,
I still like my comment. But take us back to all of last week.
don't soup his head up, Martian.
No. He did. Butters did. In the neck. All that beard is gone.
And in the hair.
Well,
I don't know what. I mean, never mind. I won't.
At least the mustache looks better now than it did last month.
I let it grow back.
You should let it all grow back. But take us back to last week.
Shit.
Take us back to, before I make another comment about your crappy hair, take us back to last week and fill me in on how you feel about the Ron Killings angle, his promo, his attacks on John Cena, the news that we're getting a match. And where do you think this is going to go? What is this going to lead to for not just Cena, but Truth?
I know we're getting the match, this Friday, I do believe.
Correct.
I was excited for his comeback on at Money in the Bank. It was actually really great. I was happy to see it. You know, a lot of the reactions were great. Cutting the promos, that he's Ron Killings now. Going from that happy-go-lucky, comedian to a more serious, I want to beat John Cena's ass for real now, is perfect. After losing to John Cena, what was that? Saturday night's main event.
Main event.
Thinking he's being funny, maybe he could do it, and wasn't serious enough to say, I could beat Cena. Now we're getting there. Now we're getting, hey, Ron's getting a little more serious.
Right.
I'm hoping it leads to him getting a win over Cena, Friday night, and then leading to a third match for the title this time. Maybe even taking it off of him, trying to bring back the real John Cena like he wants to do, because we all know that this heel turn has been something else. Not exactly the greatest. And John Cena wants to celebrate the end of his run with the fans. And I think we lead into a R-Truth, John Cena, R-Truth taking the title off of Cena eventually.
All right, and I'm gonna piggyback off of that, but Pete, I want to go up to you now too, right? Take us back last week. Ron Killings makes that return. Walk me through everything, how you're feeling, because I feel like once I jump on my soapbox, I'm gonna expand on everything, and it's all gonna kind of come together for us here.
Right. Since the return, I've liked some and I haven't liked some, but the initial return, I mean, as soon as as soon as he slid into the ring and you saw the color of his side, I was like, okay, that's Killings. It was unexpected based on what we've heard, what he said. I definitely don't think it was a work. I think they got something done in the midnight hour and it all worked out for both sides. I think it deserved more, and this now opens up Killings' creativity. I don't like the fact that they haven't dropped. They're still saying truth, like the truth hasn't gone away, but this is just like almost the Ron Killings persona within R-Truth, which is crazy because you're talking about the real life person being a persona of a made character or a gimmick in this case. I don't think that I actually think this story now and his role, and when he says the truth shall set you free, if I can speak English.
Way to go.
If the truth shall set you free, is his responsibility now is bigger than the title. I think he plays a catalyst into Cena dropping the title, but I don't think the title goes to him. And honestly, ultimately, if what we want to happen is by the end of this for Cena to come around and be that hustle, loyalty, respect guy all over again, then that means more than the Ron Killings ever having a world heavyweight championship or undisputed WWE championship reign, even if it is only for one day and he gets cashed in on, right? I agree with Martian there. I wouldn't say it kind of came too late, but even if you figure how much steam this has lost since Elimination Chamber, it's astounding. Where we were at coming into after Elimination Chamber with Cena, where we were at after
go back to the international shows.
Yeah.
3 weeks, right? Because Elimination Chamber happened like 2 or 3 weeks then in the US, and then they went overseas, and that was seemingly the WrestleMania build for John Cena, Cody Rhodes.
Right.
And you watched week in, week out. I mean, that first promo, promo he did was part of a half-hour long segment?
Yeah.
I think that very first night out. And then he just got less and less time. And people, I don't want to say people cared less and less, but not getting the payoff with The Rock at WrestleMania, not getting the understanding of why did you do. All right, we understand why you did it because you feel like we weren't behind you, but you sided with The Rock.
Right.
Like, why do it then? What was the point of doing it right then and there?
And I think that was more. I think that was more Dwayne's call. I almost feel like once The Rock was out and we didn't have him to be that buffer, but something very particular happened on this past Friday Night SmackDown after the Killings run-in. The whole backstage segment where I don't think there was any audio, but it was just Aldis and Cena kind of berating Aldis as a heel, kind of saying like, "Where is this guy? What is he doing? What is he doing? What he's doing?" You can tell that's a kind of out of place. I almost feel as if they should have pivoted, and almost you would have been better by putting Cena with Heyman to a point, and then Heyman screwing him with Seth at some point, because this isn't it. Like, I feel like this is forced. It's starting to come across as that. We're 2 months into his reign since WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
And it's like we can already kind of see the end of it. Now, I don't even think it's about the title anymore. He's 117. He's
right. And it's like Neeson was saying Tuesday night, the title's not making the story. The story's not making the title here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The title is just a prop at this point.
Yes.
And that's why, like, all right, I'm gonna jump on my soapbox here for a minute.
Go ahead, jump on it.
I'm gonna
I hope it's a sturdy soapbox, but go ahead. Jump away.
It's made of adamantium. How's that for you? But
I don't even think that'll work.
Cute, says the guy who borrowed his mustache from a porn star.
Who says I ain't the porn star?
You're a very depressed man. I promise you're not.
Yeah, I'm a little depressed today, but we're good.
Anyway, all right. So this whole thing with Truth coming back, and now all right, let's address the elephant in the room. CM Punk challenging John Cena for the title at Night of Champions.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of screws some things up for me just a little bit. But for a second, for argument's sake, we're going to pretend that doesn't exist. Okay. This all was building to a John Cena R-Truth match. When that match was going to happen didn't really matter to me. Right? Was it going to happen on a SmackDown or Raw? I'm actually surprised it's happening on a SmackDown, in all honesty, because I didn't think Cena would wrestle on TV like that. Like, he would only wrestle PLEs. So that's saying something. But Night of Champions, Saturday night's main event, this was, or even could they run that out till SummerSlam?
Mm-hmm.
I had this idea of them doing, because they've already done one match. You do this second match, which obviously now is going to be on Friday. And that was going to culminate to a third match. A third match at SummerSlam. Because you have 2 nights of SummerSlam this year. You're going to have a couple different high marquee matches. You're going to have to. It's the first 2 nights SummerSlam. So you're going to pull out all the stops. Right? And so Cena would beat him at this match on Friday, and Truth would say, no. The Truth will set. Sorry, Killings will say the Truth will set John free. And also, this is somebody who never really took Truth seriously. If you call back to his promo on Monday, he said, "I'm going after everybody who never took me seriously, and it's open season on everybody. Nobody was really safe." And this was all going to lead up to a win at SummerSlam. He was going to finally win. Cena was going to drop the title of the Truth. So you've now done two things here. One, you have not only taken the title off of Cena and put it on somebody who, I won't say this much about a lot of people. I think Truth is one of those people that deserves a title run for all, like a legitimate championship run, not the 24/7 title that he had for 875 times over the course of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But like an actual title run, not a tag title, a singles title that he runs. And even if it's one day, even if it's, 2 weeks, whatever, right? He can at least retire and say he was champion. So that's one. Number two, what you've done here is you've now humbled John Cena. Here is somebody like a Ron Killings who for the last 20 years in WWE has always been a comedian. The little Jimmy stuff, the not knowing what day it is, not knowing who he's wrestling, not knowing all of this. All of that was all just pure comedy. Beat him for the championship at one of the biggest events of the year. And that is the humbling moment for Cena, because now with 4 months left, it's the third act, right? The third act of his retirement tour. We had the first act, which was, and it's beautiful if you think about it, was from January to April. That was Act 1. Act 2 is now April to August. Act 3, the climax of this whole story, is August to December. All leading up to Boston, Massachusetts, the TD Garden, for whatever they want to call that event, where John Cena just walks away.
I think ultimately, I think Cena's last match will be with Killings in December. I think I'm a firm believer in that, and I think that come back to House of Loyalty Respect moment happens then. I think somebody is revving out of a car.
What is happening?
It's somebody.
It's somebody.
But no, so and
they do this every fucking night.
Oh wow!
At around this time at 3 a.m, like it's ridiculous.
Sorry about that, brothers, that you have to endure that. But I think you can let this. You can let this. I almost think that you can put after this match, you can always come back to it. But I think you can almost put other people in. You could almost keep them separate. After this match on Friday Night SmackDown, right? Whatever happens, I think it's going to be a non-finish for one. Two, I think they kind of go their own ways because I think Killings is going to have friction with other people. And I ultimately think that what we get I think we get a title change at Night of Champions. I think we get 2. And I said last week, I think Sammy wins King of the Ring. I actually think it's Cody. I think we're going to see Night 2, Cody versus Seth at SummerSlam Night 2. That's what I think. And once again, I almost want the title to come off of Cena at this point.
Well, and I do too, because
same.
We're at the, like I just said, we're in a 3-act play. And for this to work, you have to take the title off of Cena. Now, do you do it in June? Do you do it in July? Do you do it in August? Right? I think if you put the title on Punk in July, 2 weeks before SummerSlam.
Well, no. July, no. So
yeah, damn it. That's in 2 weeks. Shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you have it's
the Gunther Goldberg match. That's it.
And that wait, when we get to that point,
we'll get to that.
Yes.
We'll get to it. I promise you we'll get to it.
Yes. But that's what I'm saying. They almost kind of everything feels rushed right now, right? Because I feel like they're trying to set up for the first 2 nights SummerSlam. They had these PLEs, right? And they have now where Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And I think they could tell a story there, but they have to tell more compelling stories on the regular TV as well to get us to that point. And I don't think, and honestly, I don't think if what plays out at Night of Champions plays out, I don't think that really hurts Punk because you always can come back to that. Because you can come back to that, and ultimately we can get Punk versus Seth at WrestleMania 42. That's my opinion. But Killings in this whole part is going to play a catalyst in the Night of Champions, right? I don't think he's just going to be that problem that goes away. He may get distracted and he may get deterred and off kilter with Cena and maybe out of focus somewhat. But that picture is going to come back into focus. The locks part, him cutting his hair, I love. I don't like the commentary not referring to him as Killings. His busted open run-in, I love that. It's just
that was a run-in?
Yeah, not so much a run-in, but it was
a crash out for sure.
Right. I don't think they thought it would go that way, and then he kind of worked him a little bit. So I'm curious to see where we go. Like I don't the reluctancy to refer to him as Killings and still saying truth. Like if you're gonna buy in, and maybe that's the slow part of it. Maybe that's the slow part of it to where ultimately maybe 4 or 6 weeks from now, he's Ron Killings. Because even himself, he hasn't come out and he hasn't said I'm no longer R-Truth. He says, what did he say? He says I'm now driving the ship. I'm in control.
I as you're talking about this. I had a thought pop into my head regarding Friday. The title's not on the line, so hear me out.
Yep.
What if he just goes out there and and I doubt it'll happen, but absolutely beats the ever-loving brakes off of John Cena, doesn't pin him, and just walks away?
I can see it.
Like almost leaves John Cena bloodied in the ring.
Yeah.
That's another way. That's another way to snap you back to reality.
But that's also how you get the commentary team to acknowledge the fact that
it's a change.
It's a change. This is not the same R-Truth. This is Ron Killings.
Right. It's almost like,
and that becomes his new, for lack of a better phrase, gimmick moving forward. Right. He doesn't beat anybody.
Right.
He just beats the crap out of
them. He's not in it now to win matches. He's in it to prove a point.
He's in it to prove a point and just beat up on people and make it hurt.
It's almost like, okay, we know what Cena did to you, right? So, but at a certain point, possibly
you could set it up for it, right? But I think you're going to end up having the cash-in happen Seth versus Punk in some capacity.
Right. And it's almost like we all know when a face gets payback, right? The commentators in the WWE is, okay, that's it. Like he can push it beyond that point to where Cena's down. He's got his comeuppance, so to speak. He's got his revenge, and he now I'm just out of control. I'm losing it. Like then he pushes it too far. Even if, like Dynasty said, if he teases the cash in, hey, even have friction with Seth. You really want to go rogue? You really want to have you want to go at everybody? Be a one-man wrecking crew. Like you can really be that loose cannon.
He beats up on Seth too. Like it's almost like
if he stops the cash in.
Yeah, it's almost like not once the bell is rung. Don't let Seth fail to cash in. Right? As funny as that would be for me, because this whole Seth thing is
the match never happens.
Yeah,
like he never gets a chance.
Just imagine the pop. Like it's the entire Nexus attack out of one man, and he steamrolls everybody.
Yep. And you can really lean into it Oh, okay, maybe. And that's I didn't notice. I didn't know if anybody caught it tonight. But you generally don't see the money in the briefcase without the actual money in the briefcase holder. When Braun came out tonight,
horrible sentence.
But you get what I'm saying. Did that make sense?
It did.
Yeah, but Heyman was holding it.
Heyman was holding the briefcase like it was his, and his to deal out who is the owner of the briefcase.
The only thing I could think of with that, and again, I go back to the Liv Morgan injury, is the original plan was for Seth not to be seen on the show.
Right.
But they still wanted the reminder that the Money in the Bank briefcase is with Seth Rollins. So they brought out Heyman, who Heyman always held the titles. Heyman always held the Ulafala.
But did he hold the titles when Roman wasn't out there and it was Jay and Damian?
I doubt that. But did he have the Ulafala at that point? Right? That would have to go back and look at. He's always been kind of like this pack mule character in some respect. So I would like to think there was a direction given. We panicked a little bit because they did lose what was probably slated to be a two segment match. Right? That's why I think we saw everybody go out there. That's why the interaction between Cody and Seth was non-physical. And it was a little awkward, and it all felt really drawn out right at the end. Like they were just kind of killing time, waiting to get the all clear that they're out.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think that you can sell to me that Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed or I'm now going to refer to them as the Brawns. Right. That is now their new tag team name.
I can see a scenario to that, but once again, that story and that buildup so far has not been told. I don't have any inkling for that. Now, if they start doing that more often and we don't get the cash in the Night of Champions or what have you, we just get Punk. We could get. There's no Cena is not hurt if Night of Champions comes around, Killings comes out, attacks him from behind, Punk wins, Punk's your champion.
Yeah,
that doesn't hurt Cena, and then Punk can literally carry that into SummerSlam.
I think
go ahead.
Punk wins it in Saudi, he's getting cashed in on that same night.
I disagree.
You're gonna have the Bronzes come out, beat the brakes off of Punk, so Seth can come in and just cash in.
Well, let's also for a second let's back up. That would be assuming that they go to Saudi. I think this is one of those years where they literally only take the people they plan on using.
Yep.
I have that feeling.
If we see Seth on a media tour in Saudi,
if I see Seth on a media tour, I may text you and tell you, hey, you know what? He might cash in. But the better sell there is you doing all of July with Seth having the briefcase, tormenting Punk every which way to Sunday, having the Bronze beat up on Punk and Seth teasing, but then never actually cashing it in. And then Seth, because his ego, we'll get to that. Seth, because his ego is going to take over.
Right.
Doesn't cash it in a way that's a chicken shit heel kind of way where he does it when Punk is least expecting. He does it for the match at SummerSlam. He's goaded into.
So because the winner of the King of the Ring finishes the champion of the respective brand?
I believe so. Right? Or here's the other saving grace to this, because they didn't say it on Monday Night Raw, but they damn sure said it in the Instagram post. Gunther versus Goldberg is for the title.
At Saturday night's main event, right?
Correct.
This is Goldberg's retirement match.
And he's gonna beat Gunther.
You think so?
I hate to say it, but I do think so.
This makes me feel so much better about our leading topic after how we felt after Monday Night Raw last week, because now it's chicken shit. Don't get me wrong. All right, but this wasn't because Jay wasn't good enough. You just wanted to go in a different direction to set this up.
Yeah. And they can use the Seth briefcase to get the title off of Goldberg. Goldberg is not it's not tarnished one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And you're able to kind of ride off into the sunset with Seth. And because what is more of a Seth Rollins thing to do as a heel right now? Go out and beat up on, a guy your own age who just wrestled a match, who probably isn't really that winded in all reality, or go beat up on Grandpa after he just got the tar kicked out of him, even though he won, and cash in and take the title off him that way. If you're gonna be the heel, right, the more heel thing to do is go pin Goldberg.
And this is confirmed that, did he say anything that this is his last match?
No, but we know it is.
Because the only reason I say that is because if anybody, you wanted to have a marquee main event match at your first ever night to SummerSlam, and you needed somebody that can work with Goldberg and help carry him, Seth is on that short list.
Respectfully,
I know.
No.
I don't want it either.
And here's why. For no other reason than Seth would end up hurt. While trying to make Goldberg, while overselling to make Goldberg look strong again, Seth would end up hurt. And that would absolutely derail this whole thing, which is already wobbly as it gets, because Michael Cole said it wonderfully when Seth Rollins was walking out. You had 2 opportunities to get a man in the King of the Ring. Both opportunities, you morons screwed it up.
Yep.
Right? So you've already kind of started to build a little friction, a little annoyance that Seth's plan's not coming together. The architect, the visionary, the revolutionary has had failure after failure.
And it's almost like, to that point, in other factions, especially where there's no bloodline or any history there, Braun and Bronson, I should say, have both been successful. Both been successful without Seth. So why all of a sudden now would I need to go under your tutelage?
Yeah, they haven't really dived into that.
But I'm just saying, like, just from an optic standpoint, like it made sense when it was Jay, Jimmy, and the Bloodline, because he was it, and they are family, and they had their other stuff going on, even though they were successful. You have 2 single stars. Braun is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Bronson was, I think he won the Andre Battle Royal, and he was up and coming, right?
Yeah.
So Paul
Heyman, right? Yeah. Paul Heyman kind of gave Breaker, the blessing almost one night on NXT. So we knew he was kind of like a Paul Heyman guy.
Yep.
Right. And then Bronson Reed, again, that's Paul Heyman working in the shadows. This is why this is not I want you to learn, sit under my learning tree kind of vibe. This is more we have a business agreement to go out and do a job. Essentially is what it sounds like, right? This is just business. And if I can attach myself to one of the hottest heels in the company, then that's what I'm going to do.
And I do feel some type of way that Bronson took the pin tonight too after coming back, but it is what it is.
I think it made sense.
It did. For what transpired in the match, yes, it made sense.
Yeah, for Rusev you protect because he had nothing to do with any of the bigger storylines going on. Sheamus you protect because same logic. You're going to build something for Sheamus and Rusev, whether that is at Night of Champions or Saturday Night's Main Event. Because remember, I'll die on this hill. This is an unpopular opinion. This is all leading to an Otis return, where Otis just goes on a tear and becomes a monster again.
I can see that.
Because they're already positioning Maxine to be the Dungeon Dolls with Natalya, which I love the name. I didn't like it when I first heard it, but I saw it on some merch. I think Natalya shared it. I don't totally hate it anymore. Plus, it also brings Natty back to TV.
Right.
which I think for somebody who's been around as long as she has, deserves more of these opportunities. She's going to do great things for Maxine, and I think they can be a contender, especially now with Liv being out for anywhere from potentially 12 to 16 weeks, depending on the severity of this dislocated shoulder. We're going to end up.
It looks like we're gonna have a women's tag team tournament.
No, actually, we're idiots. This is what happens.
You think they're gonna just give it to Roxanne?
Yep. Freebird rule. They're all part of the judgment.
Was she ever officially in the Judgment Day?
Doesn't matter. They can freebird it.
I mean, Evolution is around the corner, so
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. That sucks. But bad timing.
It's awful. It's awful, and it always is. It's never the right time for someone to get hurt.
And that's honestly how you could set up Liv versus Roxanne, because Roxanne gets pinned, lose their tag titles.
Yeah, but the downfall to this, at least in my opinion, this is almost rinse and repeat of what happened the last time Liv got hurt.
Yep.
Right, and so I don't really want to go down that road again with Liv, because it's set up for. It was perfect the first time around. If you try to redo the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, essentially, right, it's not going to carry the same way it did the last time. Because if she's out for 3 to 4 months, that puts her back right at about October time frame, literally right in line for Survivor Series.
Yeah.
So, but do we have anything else on the R-Truth bit? Coming back.
No, it's still an open book. It hasn't been written. I don't even like referring to him as Truth right now.
Sorry, and I even have it down there. It's Ron Killings, but
right. It just
force a habit. Even
and
I think that's the other thing too, right? You've got somebody like a Michael Cole who's been referring to this man as R-Truth for 15, 20 years. He's got to shift over, and I think sometimes it's a little difficult.
Yep.
Plus, they also had to work with Graves tonight. The first time they've done that in a while.
Yep. But no, I have nothing else to say there. Curious to see where we go with SmackDown. Like I said, I'm calling it here. I think it's a non-finish.
I think SmackDown tells us a ton.
And I think
where this story
it's going to tell us who's going to show up in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think SmackDown gives us a lot of insight to that. I want to shift because we haven't really, Pete, you and I at length last week talked about Gunther and Jey Uso. I want to get Butters to weigh in though. And going back to last week, Jey drops the title. How did you feel about it? Did you think it was the right call? And then how has that opinion stayed the same or changed now that we know what Gunther's set up to do next month, what Jey is now set up to do with the King of the Ring?
So
he has to get there first.
I was shocked, to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
With having time to process it, I wasn't mad. I was just more shocked than anything. I was expecting it. Eventually, before SummerSlam, I was expecting him to drop the title.
Fair.
As them dropping it now, he's had a pretty decent run. I don't think you expect him to.
But was it a decent run?
You
be honest with me.
I felt like it was decent. I don't think it was bad.
I mean,
it's your opinion, right?
Yeah.
As fun as it is for me to tell me when your opinion's wrong, I still want to know where your head was at. And if you think it was a decent run, well, God, some other people had stellar runs then by that logic.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He had 2 title defenses.
Was that it? I'm thinking how many title defenses did he have?
I want to say it was just 2, Seth and Logan. I could be very, very wrong.
And it's like he was always involved in other stuff that didn't
Yes.
really
They
concern.
threw him, but everyone right now
Yeah,
is everywhere,
yeah.
right? But keep going.
You know, with Gunther winning it, seeing the direction they're going with, I'm fine with it because it's Gunther Goldberg. You didn't need the title, but then again,
Wait,
it
you're
is the
okay with
world.
that?
Do what?
You're okay with Gunther Goldberg?
I'm
Now,
okay with it.
I think but just like he said, it didn't need to be for the title, but we're here now.
Okay. Keep going.
I can
Okay.
tell he's ready to explode.
Okay, keep talking.
Hey, look, being for the world title, I get it because it's Goldberg, synonymous with the world title, with the World Heavyweight Championship lineage. But for it to be Gunther Goldberg, I think it's better for Goldberg to be able to really truly put over Gunther, even though he's already over as he is, even more to put down this legend.
Say that sentence one more time, please. I want to make sure. I want to make sure I heard that exactly the way I heard it. Did you tell me Goldberg could put over Gunther?
Yeah.
You think Goldberg's going to do business on the way out?
Yes. He's not winning that title. He's going out on his back.
Where's that's the one? Time out. It's in Atlanta, where Goldberg is from Georgia, and he played for the Falcons,
and he won the title in the Georgia Dome.
Is that where they're going to be Saturday night?
Yeah, I don't think the Georgia Dome's standing anymore, but they'll
be in Georgia.
Yes,
in Georgia. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he said it in the promo.
Oh, he's going out on his back. 100%.
I mean, listen, I will say this. I agree with. I'm happy. I'd rather see this versus Jay. I'll give you that. Once again, I don't. This didn't need to be for the title.
This doesn't need to happen, guys.
I think it needs to happen. This didn't need the title.
Bullshit. It didn't need to happen.
It's
we did not have to have Goldberg, who's like most of the kids watching today weren't alive when Goldberg wrestled. Even they don't know.
They need to see where the father of the spear came from.
You don't want to see a good Goldberg's last ride on the shop.
What did you say?
I said they're calling this Goldberg's last ride in the shop.
Yeah, I mean,
no, guys. It didn't.
After what pay-per-view was that? Was that Bad Blood that they originally?
It was a Bad Blood.
So, which was in Atlanta. So you had like full circle storytelling, but I just don't know why you needed to do it for the title. And ultimately, to me, doing this, we're already emotionally invested in Gunther versus Goldberg based off what we saw at Bad Blood, which means this probably would have meant more if he didn't have the title, because it's just straight pride at this point.
If they would have done this a few months later from Bad Blood,
you think too much time has gone by?
I think too much time has gone by. The only thing that made even a small bit, like, they did it so well because I think one of them was on Fox Sports Sunday, like what do they call it, Big Noon Sunday or something like that.
Yeah.
One of them was on that, and it got referenced on that. Goldberg Gunther got referenced on that show. And so you had all this media attention then to do it. Now you had Gunther beat arguably more over than Rover, the guy's more popular than God in the wrestling world right now. You had him beat that guy so that you could go fight Captain Geriatric, who, newsflash for you boys, he's not getting Gunther in a jackhammer.
No, but he can spear him 3 or 4 times.
He gets one jackhammer off.
Absolutely no. I was going to give you a lot. I would give you the 3 or 4 spears, but there ain't no.
I don't agree with the views of the jackhammer.
He hurt
One.
himself working out the other day. Are we for real right now?
Here's my
One
thing.
jackhammer.
He's
I
gonna
will
give
say
himself
this.
a concussion before he gets to the ring.
Based on the pop that Jay got tonight, he's not hurt by losing the title.
No, not at all.
And I think we all criticized the decision last week, but that is the hindsight now foresight that Trips and the creative team had. They realize, like, even if this happens to Jay, this Gunther has done this to so many people, and it takes a Herculean effort just to beat him once.
You could have Jay win King of the Ring and go to SummerSlam to take on Gunther for part 3.
I told you, I said it last week. I said Jay versus Sammy or Sammy versus Cody in the final. Sign me up for that all day.
100%, right? And I think we all came to an agreement last week that Jay was not going to get hurt out of this. Right. What I don't like, though, is that while you've got something really cool building with John Cena and Cody Rhodes, I mean, not Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. I mean, the line, "You're the goat that I'm going to spit, roast, and sacrifice to the gods of wrestling," is easily one of the coldest lines I've heard in a long time. Yeah. Right? It's not the, what was the line? Boxing with God line.
Right.
Right? But it's up there.
I mean, it's
so
just,
you have something so perfect building over there.
He's still a draw, man. He's a draw. Goldberg is a draw.
The only reason he got cheered tonight is because everybody was surprised to see him.
Right.
I think if he wins the title off of Gunther, though, if a cash-in doesn't happen that night, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're a schmuck. You're a moron. I love you. That's a moron. But
that's a sexy man.
In your dreams. But the cash-in has to happen that night. Because here's what you've also done. You're giving the John Cena CM Punk relatively 3-4 weeks of build. Now you're going to try to sell me on 6 weeks of build for Gunther Goldberg. You don't have enough depth in both characters to survive 6 weeks of build.
So you got, hold up, let me do my 23rd. Because so Saturday main event is the 12th?
I'm sorry, it's about 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you still don't have enough. I'm sorry.
For you, maybe.
For any good story.
You just told Burns when he was talking about his rundown of Jay and Gunther, it was his opinion. So I'm telling you, this is your opinion. It's not enough they could do in your opinion.
And that's fine. But it's also my show. Damn it. Anyway.
It's my show. I can rant if I want to. Okay, go ahead.
Exactly. Again, soapbox. I'm still on mine, apparently. But no, in all reality, right? Let's call a spade a spade. Unfortunately, with Goldberg, his claim to fame was being able to go out, hit 4 moves. You put your finger down. Hit 4 moves, and then walk away. That was all we got character-wise, and that's all we've ever gotten 30 years later. Right? Even with his WWE run, they didn't do anything else because why fix what at the time wasn't broken? But then you look at Gunther, who it's almost parallels, creepy parallels, right? Because they built Gunther, who has been champion 80% of his time on the main roster. They built him as somebody that walks out, puts on a killer match, right? A 15, 20-minute banger, which Goldberg, I think, maybe has worked 20 minutes in his whole career. But they put on this banger of a match. Thank you for giving me at least a little bit of a chuckle, Butters. I appreciate that.
Is that what that was? I don't know. I just saw his body moving.
I'm calling it a chuckle.
It was
I'm calling it a chuckle.
It was a chuckle shuffle.
But and then you had him built as this ring general, as this, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to put on a classic with you, and beat the hell out of you. I'm still going to win, and I'm going to walk away. We only got to see some depth of character, though, when this Jay and Gunther thing was building towards WrestleMania. We got a little bit of it. I wish they would have spent more time exploring that. You did great with Pat McAfee. You did great. Oh wait, it stopped after Pat McAfee, and then you're bringing back somebody who has no character at all.
Mhm.
But they have the history that this dude, they had an interaction. It's up to them to now tell the story. If storytelling was that easy where it just wrote itself, what would be the point? They have to now get us invested. So they now have a task that they have to follow.
And I'll die on this hill. I'll die on this hill. It is one that I wish they were doing with anybody other than Goldberg.
I would be pissed if they have Goldberg go over on Saturday night's main event.
I will be through the moon pissed.
What? But here.
Here, let me rephrase. Let me rephrase.
Okay.
I'm pissed if he goes over at Saturday night's main event and we get title card and he shows up Monday Night Raw as champion. If he goes over Saturday night's main event and Seth comes out and cashes in, fine. You transitional champion Goldberg to in some weird screwed up way protect Gunther, set up a potential Gunther face turn to go after the heel Seth. You put the title on Seth and arguably the most chicken shit bullshit way you could have figured out how to do it.
Right.
You at least had a plan. But if you expect me to believe that he's going to go over at Saturday night's main event and 48 hours later walk out on Monday Night Raw and he's going to have a SummerSlam match, because SummerSlam after Saturday night's main event, for those of you keeping score at home, is 3 weeks later. If you are going to try to tell me he's going to hold the title for 3 weeks, I'm getting on a plane, going to Connecticut, and somebody's getting hit with a cinder block.
You're doing shit.
Hear me out.
I know I'm not. I'm cheap.
There's so many ways they can go. You can get the match that they wanted to have at WrestleMania 36 as well. There's this card that they can play that's looming out there. Nobody knows where he's at, but Butters put the one up earlier. He's out there somewhere. First 2 nights SummerSlam.
He put the one up for a jackhammer, though.
I know, but I'm repurposing it to validate my point. Okay.
We're just using old footage at this point. Screw it.
So
Run it back.
if you have Goldberg go over on Gunther, yes, we won't like it for 3 weeks, but then you can say who he can say who's next Monday Night Raw, right? He says who's next. Roman's music hits. We can get the match that we never had at WrestleMania 36. And then what ultimately happens at SummerSlam? Seth can still cash in on Roman at that point, or even if you have your way where you have Seth cash in on Saturday night's main event on Goldberg,
Then
he
you
can
set
come
up
out.
Seth Roman for SummerSlam.
Because now that I think about it, the interaction that Punk and Cody had on Friday night, they literally walked by each other, and Punk was like, "We can't keep avoiding each other."
that was I liked it, but the more I've sat on it, that was a little bit of a weird interaction.
It was, but it's not weird if Punk goes over. Killings cost Cena the title. And then Cody wins. Cody wins King of the Ring. It's Cody versus Punk at SummerSlam.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I get that side of it.
And we get the Sammy heel turn out of this ultimately because he pretty much telegraphed the fact that he's not winning now because he says, when I'm all done with this King of the Ring stuff, me and you are going to have a match with Karrion.
That was a dumb line to say.
Yes.
That was a really dumb line to say.
Tell me you're not winning King of the Ring without telling me you're not winning King of the Ring.
Pretty much.
Yes.
What else did we want to talk about? Asuka made her return tonight after 13 months.
Love the different masks. Love the visual. What up, Shotzer?
I'm very glad that she won. Right? You didn't just. Again, Alexa won too. So we're finally starting to do stuff with these people that have returned. I want to.
Go ahead.
No. What were you gonna
say? You won't like this, but I love Naomi's promo from Friday night.
I didn't watch it. To be honest with you.
It was good. it was good, and we need to get the title off of Tiff because she obviously clearly as a face she's not ready, and they definitely feel like they dropped the ball on this because they should have just kept her a heel.
I want to talk about what's not working with the women's division. Let's talk about it. This Becky promo tonight.
Clunky.
I said it in my chat with Jackson Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
That was a shoot towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bailey would never say how did she say it? Step to me. That was Pam. Jack said it perfectly. That was Pam. Pam was like, "Oh, you want to go? Let's go. Step to me."
Yep.
And Becky kept, walking backwards, and that slap, that was a little stiff. Like it felt like there's some bad blood there, and even if there's not, like I was legit when it was over. I was like, man, they might really be pissy with each other right now.
If I'm not mistaken, Becky and Sasha aren't cool. She said some things since Sasha has left. Mercedes has left. If I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
And we already know who Pam's best BFF is.
Yeah.
So,
which wouldn't surprise me, right? Because they have not done anything since Sasha has left. They have not been in the same program. Right. I don't know if they've even shared the ring during like a Royal Rumble.
Have they ever had a one-on-one match before?
Probably before, like maybe once.
Like 2016, 17.
Yeah, when Becky was doing the man stuff the first time around.
Because I'm about to say, because when she was doing Ding Dong Hello during the COVID era, Becky was at home being a mom to Root.
Correct. So
and it's weird because, we got, just to surmise this, right? We have Night of Champions next Saturday. 2 weeks from now, it's if you are a wrestling fan, a comic book fan, 7-11, which is my birthday, through 7-13 is redonkulous because you have SummerSlam, not SummerSlam. You have Great American Bash, you have Superman, you have Saturday Night's Main Event, you have Evolution, and you have All In Texas, all in the same weekend.
It's good, like that. That's a long weekend.
Yeah, I feel like that Monday is going to be our show for July.
Yeah, something's not getting watched. It's probably going to be Superman that weekend.
Yeah, I've heard tickets are kind of already selling out. So,
no, that part doesn't bother me. Right? I just, there's only so much time in a day.
I would go Thursday. I'm probably going to end up going Thursday night.
I have karaoke.
This man, he's like he has a streak. He has a Goldberg. He has Goldberg streak, a Goldberg-like streak at karaoke.
Nah, we skip every once in a while.
I mean, he went there last Thursday.
Andy Cargill over here.
Do what?
I was in Alaska.
Exactly.
But also, well, no, this past Thursday it was Thursday before that.
Yeah, never mind.
But also, I know it's like my night to see my friends, so back off. At least I have a social life and friends.
Butters is one of those. Did you not just see what he did in the camera?
No, I wasn't paying attention.
Don't. You didn't want to see.
Do I have to run it back and beat him up?
I mean,
he can try.
Wow.
Big words from a small man.
Got to watch out for the little Fury.
I don't know. I don't know.
I got nothing. I
have nothing. What did we think about before we get out of here? The 5-2 solo JC Mateo, where this is going?
I feel like JC Mateo is just gonna fall into some like black hole of irrelevancy now because he serves no purpose now.
Yeah, kind of.
He literally served because not Solo. Jacob will literally just bitch slap that man and tell him to sit down.
It's the way the lighting was behind Solo. It's like they have another spot for someone else to join. I just like they're holding on to that. I don't know if we get that. But probably
I hate that we went back to this mob boss table bullshit thing that didn't work the last time.
No,
it ain't gonna work this time.
It's almost like to change. Like they should have did it in a more well-lit environment for him to kind of take on that villain role, but more of like a Joker standpoint, like kind of Nah, I'm talking about no face paint on, but
Why
like,
did I immediately think of Dr. Doofenshmirtz?
but almost like to where he could be that comedic side can come out of him where he's laughing about it, like, oh, you going da 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 da, and that kind of.
If they made him adopt a Joker-like personality,
Right.
I think that would be beautiful. Because Fatu is I mean, let's call it what it is, right? He's a thug.
Yeah.
But he's a thug.
Hey,
The
views of Andy Ritz in this very did not reflect the views of Peter.
But no. Like the character wise, right?
Yeah.
And I love it because he's like the thug you want sitting on the street protecting everybody.
Right.
Right? Because he's like, no. This is my street to do dumb shit on. It is not your street. Go away.
Yeah.
Right? And so
we do have,
oh, this should be good.
What's his name? Hikuleo or how the hell you say his name in the wing?
He
debuted on what, main event last week? I mean, he could be coming.
He actually did debut on main event.
I think it was main event, yeah.
He's like he's like 7'1", 7'2".
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's a tall one.
You big son bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be the one that takes on Jacob over, Mateo.
Yeah, but then why bring up Mateo? And again, this is somebody who's going to fall into obscurity. We brought him up. We brought him in for what?
Yeah.
Right? When we know Jacob's just going to run through him.
He's a team of Rhino. It's all it is.
You can't sell me on the fact that he's going to bring anything of any relevance.
Well, I mean, pump your brakes.
All gas, no brakes.
If Fatu and I refuse to call him Mateo, if Fatu and Jeff Cobb are given time to just have a match, it'd be great because as athletic as Fatu is, Cobb is just that, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, if we can get NJPW or ROH Jeff Cobb versus what we see with Fatu, you pair that up for the United States title, I'm here for that all day. But obviously, they want to go with Solo, or is Solo just going to crash and burn out and lose everyone? It'd be a quick demise, but I think he really needs to find a way to let his natural personality shine through.
Yeah, him at Money in the Bank was perfect.
Yes,
do more of that. Give me more of that, and I'll
even the promo with Seth the night before Money in the Bank, where you know what I mean. He did that. Figure out a way that he can lean into that. Like you said, we go from that kind of comedic side to now we're going to go back to serious. I'm trying to get the Ulafala Solo. Nah, that's not going to work.
No, that's not going to work. That's not going to fly in this.
No, it's not going to work. That's not going to work for me at all whatsoever.
Anybody got anything else? We're gonna put a nice little bow on this, and we're gonna head out. Anybody?
No, I mean I'm curious to see. Do we know what these? So we know it's Jade Cargo versus Roxanne Perez, and now
Correct.
It's Asuka and
Alexa.
Versus Alexa.
It's Sammy versus Randy and Cody versus Jay.
Now all semifinal matches are happening this Friday night.
So you get a men's semifinals, you get a women's semifinals, and then Cody and Jay you're getting on Monday, and I think you're getting Asuka Alexa on Monday.
Okay. No, you're getting Jade on Monday.
Is Jade on Monday?
Jade on Monday.
Okay, so it's Jade Roxanne on Monday,
and Cody Alexa, and Jay on Monday.
Yeah, and then Alexa, Asuka, Randy, Sammy. I think is how it's going to go. They weren't real clear with some of the other ones, but they were clear enough to where we can kind of infer.
Yeah.
They don't do. Do we do a Randy Cody final?
No.
I
think we do a Jay Sammy final.
Yeah, I think you go Jay Sammy.
And honestly, the plan for all this shit we were talking about, Goldberg this, Roman that, Seth this, Seth that, the plan for all this, what Jay said tonight, he says, in my mind, since the World Heavyweight title was involved, it's 1-on-1, dog. We need a rubber match. I can literally see them doing that.
I did like that line. I like that line.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I earned his respect. He earned my respect. Now it's 1-1. I got to get back there.
real quick shout out. I want to give Butters a shout out this weekend. He has his work cut out for him. It is Comic Palooza in Houston. He's going to be down there with our good friends, Cards and Comics. So make sure you guys, if you're going down to the George R. Brown Convention Center, you check out my man Butters. You tell him you saw him on In This Very Ring. And, I mean, he ain't going to do squat for you, but maybe he'll take a picture with you. Who knows? But you give him a big shout out to him. And everybody that's going to be down at Comic Palooza. I've been down there. I've done weekends down there. The people that put it on, they do a lot. It's chaotic. It's crazy, but it's fun. I have FOMO, and I'm not doing it this year because I did Alaska, but I have FOMO, and I'm not it hasn't even started yet. And then we will be back.
So that will be July 14th.
Yeah, we'll plan for us to be back July 14th, if not sooner. But that is it for us tonight. We want to thank all you guys for chiming in, all those that watched on Facebook and YouTube. Until we see you next time, that is Pete. That's Butters. I'm Ritz. Tell somebody you love them. We'll see you on the other side. Peace, love, and joy. We're out.